his words in the dark. Be my woman tonight, or left her breathless. The first shot came at dusk, when breath turns shallow and courage has nowhere to hide. She heard it before she understood it, wood splintering. A scream cut short, the sudden weight of fear pressing her to the earth. Someone shouted her name, but the sound slipped past her like smoke. She stayed where she was, frozen, hands slick with blood that was not yet hers. Across the chaos, a man sat his horse without moving. He did not shout. He did not rush. His eyes found hers, steady and unreadable, as if he had been waiting for this moment. And in that impossible stillness, she wondered, was mercy about to save her or seal her fate? The wagons had slowed just before sunset, wheels groaning over baked ground as the desert swallowed the last of the light. Emma Hale pressed her palm to the wooden slat, feeling the heat still trapped in the boards. 3 months on the trail from Missouri had taught her the land could be beautiful and cruel in the same breath. "How wow, Tam'll make camp soon," her father said, forcing cheer into his voice. Samuel Hale always sounded like that at TM's end, as if optimism alone could keep danger away. Her mother, Ruth, sat beside him, hands folded, lips moving in quiet prayer. 12-year-old Jacob kicked dust near the back, certain the frontier held nothing he couldn't might face. Emma knew better. 6 wagons circled that evening. Families chasing California, Thames promised newlyweds, children, old men with tired eyes. Hope rolled in with them and settled heavy on the ground. She was coaxing a fire to life when the sound came, wrong and distant, like thunder without clouds. The men stiffened. Hands slid toward rifles. Then the desert erupted. Warriors burst from the dying light, fast and silent. Arrows sliced the air. A woman screamed. Gunfire answered. Emma dove behind a barrel as smoke and dust burned her lungs. She saw her father raise his rifle, saw the calm precision in his hands. An arrow struck his chest. The world cracked open. Emma tried to reach him, but her mother dragged her down. Another shot rang out. Ruth Tim's grip loosened, and she fell without a sound. Jacob cried out, collapsing over her still body. Emma knelt in the dirt, blood soaking her skirt, holding her brother as the noise faded. Around them lay broken wagons, fallen men, burning dreams. Footsteps approached, a slow, deliberate. She looked up. The leader stood before them, scarred and sun-worn, his gaze heavy with years and choices. He spoke softly to a warrior who reached for Jacob. Emma tightened her hold. "Oh no, she said, surprised by her own steady voice. TM's just a boy." The man studied her for a long moment. Then he lifted one hand. The warrior stepped back. Hands seized Emma round her TM's arms and pulled her upright. Jacob Timba's fingers tore at her dress as they pried him away, not cruelly, but without mercy. She was lifted onto a horse, bound tight, breath shaking. As they rode into the dark, she looked back once more. Her brother stood alone among the ruins, tears carving clean lines through the dust. The desert swallowed the camp, and Emma Hale was carried toward a life she could not imagine, wondering if strength would be enough to survive what lay ahead. His words in the dark. "Or be my woman tonight," or left her breathless. Emma woke to unfamiliar sounds, the soft nickering of horses, low voices shaped by a language she could not understand, the crack of wood in a morning fire. For one fragile moment she reached for her mother, Tam's quilt. Her fingers met packed earth and a coarse blanket that smelled of smoke and sage. Memory struck hard. The raid, her father falling, her mother ATM's stillness. Jacob Tim's face shrinking as they rode away. She pressed her knuckles to her mouth to keep from crying out. The camp rested in a hidden valley, red rock walls rising on all sides like ancient guards. Dozens of low shelters dotted the ground, smoke curling upward as women tended fires and children darted between them. It was not the savage chaos she had imagined. It was a village, alive. The other captives huddled nearby. A wounded woman cradled her shoulder. 2 young girls clung to each other, eyes swollen from crying. They looked to Emma without speaking, as if age alone had made her their anchor. "Oh, are you hurt?" Emma whispered. "Oh, not bad," the woman said, though her face was pale. What will they do to us?" Before Emma could answer, movement caught her eye. He stepped from one of the larger shelters. The man from the battlefield. Up close, the weight of him was unmistakable. Not loud, not cruel, simply present. People moved aside as he passed, respect flowing without command. His dark eyes flicked toward the captives, lingering on Emma just long enough to make her stomach tighten before she forced her gaze down. An older woman approached, hair threaded with silver, carrying water and strips of dried meat. Hunger won over fear. Emma accepted the food with trembling hands. How you eat? Ma, the woman said in careful English. Oh, you grow strong. Much work ahead, Emma blinked in surprise. How I lived many seasons among your people. Or the woman added, almost amused. Oh, this is home. You learn outdoor or you fade outdoor. The day blurred into labor. Firewood, water, grinding corn until her hands burned and blistered. Emma did not complain. She watched instead, listened, learned, which looks meant curiosity, and which meant warning. At the stream, a young woman shoved her hard into the water. Laughter rippled. Emma dragged herself up, soaked and humiliated, but she did not bow her head. Awikawa, the girl said in broken English. Emma said nothing. She thought of her mother, TM's quiet strength. She would last. As the sun climbed, she felt eyes on her. The leader sat with the men, shaping arrow shafts, his gaze steady and unreadable. He watched her struggle without offering help, without mockery. Just watching. Late afternoon, the silver-haired woman motioned for Emma to follow. Inside a small shelter, herbs hung from the walls. The woman handed her a thick paste. Have her hands out, she said. How burns first, then heals. Oh, why help me? Here's Emma asked. The woman, TM's expression softened. Oh, my son sees something in you. He is chief now. What he sees always matters to you. Chief. The word settled heavy in Emma TM's chest. That night, blankets appeared beside the captives. Thicker ones. Clean water. Emma knew who had sent them. She lay awake beneath unfamiliar stars, clutching warmth that felt too much like mercy, wondering why the man who had destroyed her life had chosen, again and again, not to end it. Morning came softly after 2 weeks in the valley. Emma woke before dawn now, her body learning the rhythm of a place she had never chosen. She braided the younger girl's Tem hair, the way the women had shown her, careful and neat. The wounded woman, TM's fever had broken, though pain still lingered in her shoulder. Emma was grinding corn when he appeared. The chief crouched beside her without a word and set down a handful of mesquite pods. Oh, these, he said in rough, careful English. Make sweet. Good with corn. The stone slipped from Emma's fingers. How you speak English? She said before she could stop herself. For some use, he replied, showing her how to crush the pods. His hands moved with quiet certainty. Traitors. Soldiers. His mouth tightened at the last word. Why did you spare us? The question escaped her, sharp and sudden. For a long moment he said nothing. Then, my people take captives for strength, new ways. His eyes met hers. But you? Different reason. Shouts tore across the camp before she could ask more. A hunting party returned in chaos. A mountain lion had attacked, leaving 2 men bleeding. The chief was on his feet instantly, voice cutting through the noise, directing, commanding. Emma watched authority settle over him like a second skin. As the camp rushed to respond, Emma noticed his water gourd left behind. Tied to it was a small pouch. Without thinking, she slipped out a single eagle feather and hid it against her chest. She didn't want to know why. The wounded were brought to the healer TM's shelter. Emma was pulled in to help, pressing hands, holding limbs steady as pain and fear filled the air. One of the injured belonged to the young woman who had shoved her at the stream. The girl spat when she saw Emma. I don't want her touch, A sharp command silenced her. Emma held steady as the healer stitched, her hands trembling but true. When it was over, the chief stood in the doorway. Their eyes met. Something shifted, not kindness, not gratitude, recognition. That evening, he found Emma at the stream washing blood from her arms. My mother says you did well, he said. She is wise. How will you teach me your language? Emma asked quietly. Understanding might keep us alive. He studied her, then nodded. First word IQ, he said, touching his chest, then gesturing to the valley. Our people. She repeated it, clumsy but determined. They worked until darkness fell. Water, sky, fire, horse. His patience surprised her. When she finally said the greeting correctly, his mouth almost curved into a smile. What tomorrow more, he said, then paused. You interest me, Emma Hale. Hearing her name on his tongue sent an unexpected shiver through her. That night Emma lay awake, the stolen eagle feather pressed close to her heart. The story she had been raised on did not fit the man she was coming to know. He was not the monster she had been taught to fear, and that frightened her more than if he had been. The storm came without warning, tearing down from the mountains like anger given shape. By afternoon, the sky turned black and heavy. Wind screamed through the valley, ripping at shelters and scattering sparks from cook fires. What inside? Haritu, the older women shouted, herding children toward cover. Emma was securing a shelter with the girls when a shrill scream cut through the chaos on the horse, panicked and wild. One of the young mares had snapped her tether. She bolted through the camp, eyes white, hooves slipping on mud and stone. Hastahira, Emma ordered the girls. Then she ran. Rain slammed into her face. The mare veered toward the narrow trail climbing the valley wall. One slip and she would be lost. Emma stepped into her path, arms wide. Oh, easy, girl, easy. Oh. The mare skidded. Mud sprayed. The edge loomed. Strong arms locked around Emma Utiem's waist and yanked her back. They crashed into the mud together, rolling hard. The Chief Otiem's body took the impact, shielding her as thunder shook the ground. Ah, foolish woman. He snapped in his own language, anger sharp and raw. Oh, you risk your life for a horse, so. Or she would have died, oh, Emma shot back. Oh, horse can be replaced, oh, he growled. Oh, you cannot. His hands gripped her arms, then stilled. He seemed to realize how close they were, her body pressed to his, breath tangled with his. Rain streamed down his face, carving lines through dirt and blood. Emma, well, he said, only her name. Something in her chest shifted. A shout broke the moment. He helped her up. His touch restrained now, controlled, but the look he gave her burned hotter than fire. That night, the camp gathered by the central fire to count losses. No lives were lost. The mare was safe. Whispers followed Emma wherever she moved. Across the flames, the Chief Otem's gaze found hers again and again. The older woman pressed a bowl into Emma Mtema's hands. How take this to my son, she said quietly. Freke is not eaten. Emma carried the food, heart pounding. He thanked her in their shared tongue, eyes dark and searching. Later, she found him by the stream. A small fire burned between them. How you were angry, she said. How wayasnur, he stirred the flames. How you choose to help always, why? Because it OTM's right, Ro Emma said. Or because helping is what makes us human, even when it OTM is hard. Silence stretched. How you are not like the others, he said at last. How you bend but you do not break and all. Before she could answer, a voice lashed out from the darkness. A woman stepped forward, eyes sharp with fury. Words flew fast and bitter. Oh, you think you are special? Oh, the woman hissed in English. You are nothing. Why? She stormed away, leaving tension in her wake. For I need time, the chief said quietly. Over the storm brought change. Oh, I still have your eagle feather, oh Emma. 3 days passed without lessons by the stream. Emma felt the distance like a physical ache. The chief kept to his duties, speaking little, his presence always just out of reach. Eyes followed her through the camp. Whispers moved faster than the wind. On the 4th night, she went to the stream alone. Moonlight silvered the water. Their old fire lay cold and scattered. Emma wrapped her arms around her knees, telling herself this was for the best. Whatever had grown between them had been dangerous. Impossible. How you should not be here alone. She startled. He stood at the edge of the clearing, half-shadowed. Weariness etched into his face. Neither should you, she said softly. How the people talk, he said. Oh, they say I forget who I am. When have you? Anoto, his answer was sharp. Why, remember everything. The raid, your father. Your mother. I carry it all. Pain tightened her chest. Then why? Kuro, she asked. Char's because remembering is not understanding. He paced like a caged animal. How when I first saw you, you did not scream. You stood. You saw me. Why, I was afraid, Emma said. But I recognized something. Poki. Yes, he stopped in front of her. It makes no sense. Tell me to leave. Say you hate me. She reached for his clenched fist instead. Why canao tiemitiamao? His breath caught. Their fingers intertwined. A single point of truth binding them. How tomorrow night, he said, pulling back. A full moon ceremony. You will come. As my guest, he hesitated. I'll wear the eagle feather. The next day buzzed with tension. Women prepared food. Men spoke in low voices. The hostile woman arrived with a bundle and left without a word. Inside was a dresser, soft leather, pale and finely worked, beadwork like moonlight on water. He sends this, the woman said stiffly. Emma changed with shaking hands, braiding her hair and weaving the feather into it. When she stepped outside, conversation died. The ceremonial fire burned bright. Drums pounded. The chief stood waiting, dressed in paint and feathers, power and restraint woven together. He gestured for her to sit beside him, not with the women. Whispers rippled. He spoke to his people, then turned to her and spoke in English. His voice carrying clear. Sure, she saved a life. She heals. She learns our words. The spirits mark her as different. His gaze never left hers. I would claim her as mine. No one challenged him. Later, beyond the firelight, he faced her beneath the moon. Do you understand what this means? It means you chose me, had Emma said. Or despite everything, his hands framed her face. How be my woman? Not only tonight now, she thought of loss, of blood, of a world forever changed, then of patience, of mercy. She whispered. He kissed her under the watching moon. The impossible became real, and Emma knew her life had turned a final, irrevocable page. The reckoning came 3 mornings later. Just after dawn painted the valley walls red. Emma was helping prepare medicines when angry voices cut through the camp. The air tightened, sharp with challenge. She knew before she saw it. At the center of the valley, the chief stood facing another warrior, tall, broad eyes burning with accusation. The crowd formed a wide circle, silent and tense. He challenges your place, someone whispered. Trust as you grow weak. Emma OTM's heart clenched. The challenger spoke fast and fierce. The meaning needed no translation. He pointed at Emma, contempt sharp as a blade. Harry says you shame your father. OTM's name. The whisper continued. Says when he leads you will burn. The chief answered calmly. One word. Yes. Weapons were chosen. Knives only, close, final. Emma tried to move, but strong hands held her back. But you do not interfere, the older woman warned. Sure, this is not about you, but Emma knew it was. The men circled, dust rose. The first strike came fast. Metal flashed. Blood bloomed on the chief Bautiema's shoulder. A murmur rippled. He did not falter. Experience met fury. He twisted, swept the other man into the dirt. They collided hard, bodies locked, blades scraping skin. Emma Raunami's breath caught when she saw blood spill at his side. Then it was over. The challenger lay pinned, the chief Onemi's blade at his throat. Yield out, he commanded. The man spat, then spoke the word. Yield. By law, the challenge was ended. The challenger stalked away in disgrace. The crowd exhaled. The chief turned to speak and collapsed. Emma broke free and caught him before he fell. Blood soaked her hands as she pressed hard against the wound. For a stubborn man, she muttered, half sobbing. He must see strength, he whispered. Team will see sense, she snapped. They carried him to the healer Tem's shelter. Emma held his head as stitches burned and bit. He crushed her fingers in his grip, anchoring himself to her voice as she spoke of anything but fear. At last, the healer stepped back. He will live. Relief shattered Emma. She brushed hair from his brow, tears falling freely now. You fought for me, she whispered. I fought for the future. He answered softly. It's when you were part of it. Later he caught her hand, pressing it to his chest. Life is too short for fear. If I thought I lost you, she said. Will you want to tiemto, he murmured. We're too stubborn, She laughed through tears. In the days that followed, she barely left his side. The challenger and his allies left the valley. Loyalty settled. When he finally stood again, pale but steady, he took her hands. My mother will make it formal, he said. Our way first. Yours when we can. Her throat tightened. Marriage. Or if you still choose me, I already did, Emma said softly. His smile, full and real, told her everything. Whatever trials waited beyond the valley, they would face them together. And that was enough. 7 days passed with the slow patience of healing. Emma rarely left his side. She learned deeper remedies from the older woman. Her hands steady now, her purpose clear. The camp adjusted around them, cautious at first, then quietly accepting. On the 8th morning, Emma woke to find his bedding empty. Panic flared until she heard his voice outside, strong again, steady, giving orders. She stepped into the light and saw him standing tall, wounds bound. Authority settled easily on his shoulders. You should rest. She scolded softly in his language. How a chief rests when his people eat. Oh, he replied. Then his gaze softened. Out tonight. Come when the moon rises, or... All day Emma moved as if drawn tight. The older woman watched her with knowing eyes. How the heart already knows it, she said. How the mind only makes knots. At moonrise, Emma braided her hair and wove in the eagle feather. She hesitated at his dwelling. Come out, his voice called. Inside, firelight warmed the space. He held out a necklace of silver and turquoise. How me grandmother out to mesmore, he said. Well, for the woman I choose. Tears blurred her sight as he fastened it around her neck. Tell me clearly, he said. How will you be my wife, knowing what it costs? How my people are gone. Emma answered quietly. I cannot live facing backward. I choose you. I choose this life, He drew her into his arms, careful and sure. Then we marry in 3 nights, when the moon is dark. A beginning. Trioso, she said. We're to all of it, Oro. The ceremony came at sunset. Paint marked her as a bride. The people gathered. Drums spoke of ancient law. Hands were bound with braided cord. Vows were spoken in both tongues. Loss acknowledged, hope claimed. When the dancing ended, he led her home. At dawn, Emma woke in her husband Etem's arms beneath a sky washed clean. The weight of the past did not crush her. It steadied her. No regrets? First, he asked. No, now, she said. Days turned into purpose. She healed. She taught. He listened, learned, adapted. Together, they faced a changing world with open eyes and joined hands. One evening, beneath the widening stars, Emma touched the feather woven into her hair and spoke his words fluently now. I love you, when I love you, he answered in careful English. My wife, my bridge to tomorrow to row. Beneath the same ancient sky, they dared to believe love could outlast hatred, and prove it. One day at a time. Have this tale stirred your heart? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tales from the Frontier, where true Wild West stories, courage is tested, and love refuses to die. Until the next tale was right on, partner.